The Nigerian Economic Summit Group, in its role as connector, dialogue partner, watchdog, and intervener,
when you first start business, your target is to make your first million.
Seeks to change the narrative and trajectory of the Nigerian economy. Together with our partners, we're not just solving problems, but preventing them, because when advocacy succeeds, the nation transforms for the better. But advocacy is for the strong. It takes fact-based inputs, resilience, partnerships, courage, and a lot of heroes. So be our hero. Subscribe to our channel, listen to our messages, and engage with us. Together, we can transform Nigerian lives, communities, and businesses. Welcome to the NESG Radio. Hello there. Welcome to NESG Radio. I'm your host, Yinka Inyolako. Remember, NESG conversations are fact-based and always in the national interest. This podcast also airs on community radio stations across the country. Our content is available in Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Pidgin, French, and other local Nigerian languages. It's the SME series on NESG Radio. What more can I say about MSMEs? Although largely unstructured, micro, small, and medium enterprises remain the backbone of the Nigerian economy, contributing about 48% of the national GDP. My guest today is the managing director of an organization that started out as an SME almost 200 years ago, 184 years to be precise. His company supports SMEs in many ways till this very day. Adil Farhat is Managing Director at P&G West Africa. Mr. Farhat joined Procter & Gamble in 2001 and for the last 17 years has served in various capacities at P&G across Europe, Middle East, and Pakistan subsidiaries. Adil Farhat has over the years in various capacities proven himself an accomplished and innovative leader with a track record of successfully delivering top and bottom line performance. Welcome, Mr. Adil Farhat. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Yinka. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Fantastic. I've said some things about you, some things about your company, but it's best to hear from the horse's mouth. P&G is a lot of things and more. P&G serves consumers around the world with leadership brands such as Always, Ariel, Oral-B, Pampers, and many, many others. And of course, your community includes operations across 70 countries worldwide. Let's start with this, right? The 2021 P&G and Bank of Industry SME Academy. What is this initiative about? Please tell us that.
Sure, Yinka. You might not be aware, but Procter & Gamble started as an SME itself back in 1837. So SMEs have always been close to our hearts. P&G partnered with the Bank of Industry and the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to further our commitment on creating sustainable, valuable, and globally competitive small and medium enterprises in Nigeria. The aim of this academy was to train hundreds of local SMEs annually on critical business skills to improve their standards, ensure their business longevity, and facilitate their integration into global value chains. I'm very proud to tell you that during the 2 days academy, we trained over 700 SMEs on procurement, tax compliance, access to regional markets, business ethics, selling skills, brand building, and leadership skills. And also it included a webinar on SME development. The 2021 P&G BOI SME Academy also featured industry leaders who provided valuable insights, including the keynote remarks by the Vice President of Nigeria, His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who outlined the efforts of the government to empower growth and recovery will primarily be driven by globally competitive small and medium enterprises. So I hope this gives you a little bit of an idea of what the 2021 P&G BOI SME Academy was all about.
Yes, it does. And that's fantastic work. And I'm sure that this will continue into the future, I presume.
Absolutely. So this is an ongoing activity for us as part of our commitment to Nigeria. And this process will continue also in the years to come.
Thank you very much, Adil. Let's segue a bit to challenges over the past year. The pandemic has unraveled a lot of challenges across Nigerian communities. How has P&G managed activities throughout this period?
Okay, thank you for the question, Yinka. This question is very close to our hearts because this pandemic is perhaps one of the most unprecedented challenges we've experienced as an organization. However, that has not stopped us from meeting the needs and demands of our consumers. As a matter of fact, it helped us to show the real power of purpose, actually. The COVID-19 pandemic brought about a global shortage right at the start, a global shortage of essential hygiene products, including face masks, sanitizers, soaps, and sanitary pads. At P&G, we embarked on innovative adaptations to our production systems to support government's efforts to curb the spread of COVID-19. We converted some of our manufacturing sites across Africa, Middle East, and Asia towards the production of face masks, for example. The COVID-19 pandemic did not only disrupt movement of people, but also how they work, integrating personal and professional worlds. So given our underlying principle is to ensure the protection of our people and their families as a first priority, we adapted quickly to enable the well-being of our employees and their families. So since March 2021, our employees working in our general offices have since worked from home, and we have provided them with all the right IT tools and ergonomic furniture to work effectively. And for those involved in our essential manufacturing operations, we have implemented access control measures like temperature scans, created more shift operations, ensured transportations of essential production employees, compulsory use of personal protective equipment, and obviously a complete adherence to all the HSE provisions. Now, in terms of and in response to increasing adaptation of technology during the early days of the pandemic, we also pivoted towards more emerging needs like e-commerce, where people were shopping more online rather than going physically to the stores, and also leverage the local e-commerce platforms to ensure efficient direct-to-consumer distribution of our products. In addition, we continue to use our marketing and communication expertise to encourage consumers to support public health measures such as hand washing campaigns. And I must tell you that as a force for good in Nigeria, we designed and developed contactless hand washing stations to promote hand washing in high-risk areas. We also partnered with all the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT and the federal government, to curb the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria through our Protecting Our Heroes mission, which committed over 100 million naira worth of humanitarian package to support the government in combating COVID-19. The P&G BOS Academy also afforded us the opportunity to reach out to SMEs virtually, a relatively new but highly effective means of training. So yes, the pandemic presented certain challenges, but we were able to pivot and overcome them while giving back to Nigerian communities.
That's fantastic. So much done in such a little time. And, hinging on technology and innovation is, from what I heard from you, is a way that P&G has been able to, to ride over the times and surmount all those challenges. So fantastic work from you and your team. I'll go to the next question. My question is about, jobs and human capital. P&G over the years has contributed manufacturing investment to communities across Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. But can you tell us what these contributions are, and in recent times, what initiatives have been executed as part of P&G's social responsibility to Nigerian communities?
Absolutely. Let me share with you some details, Inka. Here, as a force for growth, P&G has been active investor in Nigeria for over 28 years, generating over 4,000 jobs and enabling the development of SMEs and creating over 300 new small businesses, which have gone on to become medium-sized businesses through our manufacturing operations, distributor operations, and supply chain operations. And recently, and I'm very proud to share this with you and all your listeners, that we've partnered with Colliery Cosmetics to kickstart production of Oral-B products in Nigeria. This is a $35 million localization investment, which reaffirms our commitment and will position Nigeria as our manufacturing hub for West Africa, and by extension, Africa, as the AFCFTA comes into full effect. Now, with this partnership, we will be creating over 200 additional jobs, in addition to the 4,000 jobs that we have created through our manufacturing operations in Ibadan and Lagos, and our general offices in Lagos. As a force for good, PNG has always been a responsible corporate citizen. Our citizenship programs touch the lives of over 15 million people in Nigeria. This includes our Children's Safe Drinking Water program, which has provided over 175 million liters of safe drinking water in Nigeria, and our $1.5 million partnership with UNESCO, which is enabling us to provide basic literacy and vocational skills to over 110,000 disadvantaged women and girls across Nigeria. Also, I must tell you, through our Pampers project, Riga Kafi, we have donated over 3.5 million diapers to the federal government and state governments to improve the health outcomes of over 500,000 infants and increase immunization rates in peri-urban and rural areas of the states. Not only that, finally, with our Always Keeping Girls in School program, PNG is committed to educating more than 50,000 adolescent girls on puberty and menstrual hygiene over the next 3 years, and will also provide a full year supply of sanitary pads. I hope this gives you some insight on our recent contribution towards manufacturing investments to the communities in Nigeria.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much for that, Adil. I'm particularly happy about the investment into girl children and to women in the community. So that's fantastic work. This and all of these things that you've done has to be hinged on innovation, because I do not think that without an innovative company you can achieve this. So how critical is innovation, this word innovation, to the survival of SMEs in Nigeria? That you are not an SME, but you should advise our listeners who are SMEs, how critical is innovation? And what is the mandate of the PNG towards driving innovation, particularly amongst the younger generation of Nigerians and West Africans as a whole?
Thanks for the question, Yinka. And again, I have to say the question on innovation is very close to our hearts, because that's what we do. Innovation is paramount to the survival and growth of any business, and with that theme, you can say that the innovation is our lifeblood at PNG. At PNG, innovation isn't just about making our products the best, but it's also about improving lives. And thinking innovatively across every area of the business has the power to improve our world and lend a helping hand or spark a movement. And we believe best ideas emerging from the creative connections that happen between our talented employees. And to make that happen, we encourage our multifunctional teams to work together to come up with new ideas to address the challenges that we are facing today. Our innovations build brands, it shapes markets, and it improves the products. SMEs have been generally accepted as the vehicle of economic growth and development. Vibrant SMEs are considered crucial in solving multivariate problems in developing nations, which are not limited to poverty, unemployment, and inequality. SMEs also help in the provision of goods and services, job opportunities, wealth creation, poverty alleviation, and utilization of local resources. And I think beyond the fundamental social impact, SMEs are catalysts for technology development, domestic capital formation, and also capacity development for local talents. And this is why as PNG, we prioritize capacity building through our SME Academy, which we launched in partnership with the government. We believe that by investing in these SMEs, more local SMEs can be empowered to integrate into the global value chain, attract more capital, create more jobs, and eventually stimulate more innovation within the local industry. So I hope that this gives some insight on how we think about innovation internally and how we think that we can pass it on through the SME Academy to the future generations.
Yes, it does. Very well spoken, right? Now I want to talk about things that are critical to facilitate the growth of SMEs. Can you mention 3 critical factors, or at least critical factors that need to be put in place to facilitate the growth of SMEs in Nigeria?
Sure, Inka. I think if I were to choose 3 critical factors for SME growth, I would say innovation, human capital, and capacity building. So at PNG, our PVPs, what we call purpose, values, and principles, are the foundation of everything we do. And throughout our history of over 175 years, we have innovated to grow the business, which has been enabled by these PVPs and will continue to be passed down to generations to come. And in terms of human capital, an important learning from PNG's sustained growth over decades is our investment in our people, especially the youth. And the right quality of human capital will be crucial to the success of any SME in any geography. And as you acquire the right human capital, the development of this capital becomes essential. And this is why capacity building remains integral in business development and industrialization. So just to repeat myself again, the 3 key critical factors to be put in place to facilitate SME growth, I would say innovation, human capital, and capacity building.
So I have one more question for you, Adil. I would say, to everyone listening, entrepreneurs or people who are budding entrepreneurs, what is your charge to them, considering that, building capacity, growing human capital and innovating that you have mentioned? What is your charge to them at this point? Just so that in a few years, you can look back, on the BOI and PNG initiative and look at all of the things that you're doing and look at the Nigerian community and say, you know what, we have come so far. What is your charge to budding entrepreneurs, creators and innovators in our community right now?
That's a very good question, Yinka. And before I talk to the budding and current entrepreneurs, I have to say that the small and medium enterprises remain the backbone of any economy, and contributing about 50% of the national GDP, about 50% of the industrial jobs, and nearly 90% of the manufacturing sector in terms of number of enterprises. Hence PNG is very committed to investing economically with increased investments across several categories, and our commitment to Nigeria is very solid and for the long term. Now coming on to all the budding and current entrepreneurs, I think the charge would be for them to recognize the value of partnership, the value of people, and the value of innovation. And I think by leveraging these values, they will be capable of providing goods and services that meet consumer and shopper needs, add value to the business and to the society, and contribute obviously positively to the economic development of the society and by extension, Nigeria. So I think this would be my charge to the current and budding entrepreneurs: value of partnership, value of people, and ongoing and continuous innovation.
Thank you very much. My guest today has been Adil Farhat, the Managing Director at Procter & Gamble West Africa. It's been phenomenal talking to you. You shared a lot of nuggets with us, and I'm sure that our listeners will be excited to see what's in store for them as SMEs from PNG and from your associations with and collaborations with other institutions going forward. Thank you for your time. It's been great talking to you, and we hope to talk to you sometime soon. Thank you very much, Adil. Any final words? Do you have any final words for our listeners?
No, I want to thank you, Yinka, for giving me this opportunity. It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to small and medium enterprises, to young and budding entrepreneurs, and pass on whatever learning we have that can contribute towards their personal and professional growth. So very happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and have a fantastic day.
You too. Take care. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Thank you very much for joining our podcast today. You can enjoy other content on this series on our website at www.nestgroup.org/podcast. You can also follow Procter & Gamble across their social media channels at Procter & Gamble on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. Join us again next week for another episode. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to our content today. Remember to subscribe to the NESG Radio. Follow us across all social media channels and visit our website www.nestgroup.org/NESG Radio. NESG in the national interest.